the aftermath of a painful divorce, Clara Bennett finds herself in the daunting world of online dating, hoping to heal but terrified of being hurt again. After she meets Marcus, a charming man who sweeps her off her feet with his captivating stories and charismatic charm. As their connection deepens, Clara's dreams of love begin to reignite. But soon, troubling secrets start to surface. She uncovers inconsistencies in Marcus's stories that leave her questioning everything she thought she knew about him. Visibly torn, Clara grapples with her feelings as red flags emerge, revealing a side of Marcus that shatters the image she had built. In her pursuit of happiness, she must confront the fear that has held her back for so long. As she navigates this emotional roller coaster, Clara embarks on a journey of self-discovery, wrestling with the balance between vulnerability and protection. With the support of her friends and newfound passions, Clara learns that true love can only flourish in the light of honesty. This is a story about resilience, the importance of being true to oneself, and the courage it takes to forge deeper connections. Join us as we dive into Shattered Masks, a tale that reminds us that the path to love is often fraught with challenges, but it is only through embracing our authentic selves that we can find the connection we truly seek. Clara Bennett stared at her reflection in the bathroom mirror, brushing a stray hair behind her ear. At 38, she was still adjusting to the idea of being single after her recent divorce. The man she had once loved had turned into a stranger, and the years of compromise had left her feeling lost. Yet, deep down, she yearned for connection, for companionship, something to fill the void that her old life had created. With a deep breath, Clara picked up her phone and opened a dating app that her friends had been raving about. She hesitated, eyeing the screen for a moment, her fingers hovering over her profile picture. It was a bright, cheerful photo taken during a summer picnic, and she remembered the laughter of friends echoing around her that day. She supposed it captured a sense of joy, something she longed to feel again. She pressed upload and continued filling out her profile, trying to present her best self while remaining honest about who she was. After hitting save, Clara felt a mix of excitement and anxiety wash over her. It had been years since she presented herself to anyone in this way, but as she delved into conversations with potential matches, she began to feel a flicker of hope. Always cautious now, she maintained a protective barrier around her heart, vowing not to fall too quickly. The last time had left her shattered. A few days later, a message appeared in her inbox from Marcus, a man with a smirk that exuded charm. His profile showcased photos of adventurous trips and laughter-filled moments with friends. Intrigued, she opened the chat. "Hey Clara, have you ever been to the beach in January? It's chilly but beautiful, just as you seem to be." Flattery always worked. Clara felt warmth spread through her cheeks. Goosebumps pricked her skin, but she knew better than to read too much into a single message. They engaged in playful banter that eventually turned into deeper conversations, discovering shared interests in music, art, and literature. Slowly, she started to feel that they clicked on multiple levels, and he seemed to truly understand her thoughts and feelings. Days turned into weeks, and with each conversation, Clara was captivated. Marcus shared stories about his travels, mentioning his job as a freelance graphic designer, which allowed him to work from anywhere. They planned to meet for the first time at a local art exhibit, an event that Clara had been looking forward to for weeks. As the day approached, her excitement was tinged with nervousness. She spent extra time preparing, choosing an outfit that felt stylish yet comfortable. Standing in front of the mirror, she whispered affirmations to herself, reminding her that she was worthy of love. "You've got this," she murmured. The exhibit was buzzing with energy when she arrived. Clara scanned the room, her heart pounding as art piece lit up the walls. When she spotted Marcus, her breath caught in her throat. He wore a sophisticated black blazer that accentuated his tall frame. Their eyes met, and she felt as if the crowd faded away, leaving just the two of them. "Hey, you look incredible," he said with a genuine smile that lit up his face. "Thanks. You're not so bad yourself," she replied, feeling the tension ease as they fell into conversation about the art around them. Time flowed like water, and soon they were laughing over shared anecdotes, their chemistry palpable. Marcus leaned in closer, sharing whispered thoughts on the pieces on display, their shoulders brushing against one another, igniting sparks Clara hadn't felt in years. The exhibit was buzzing with energy when she arrived. Clara scanned the room, her heart pounding as art piece lit up the walls. When she spotted Marcus, her breath caught in her throat. He wore a sophisticated black blazer that accentuated his tall frame. Their eyes met, and she felt as if the crowd faded away, leaving just the two of them. "Hey, you look incredible," he said with a genuine smile that lit up his face. "Thanks. You're not so bad yourself," she replied, feeling the tension ease as they fell into conversation about the art around them. Time flowed like water, and soon they were laughing over shared anecdotes, their chemistry palpable. Marcus leaned in closer, sharing whispered thoughts on the pieces on display, their shoulders brushing against one another, igniting sparks Clara hadn't felt in years. After the exhibit, they strolled through the nearby park under the stars, the world alive with night sounds. Clara enjoyed the way Marcus listened intently, as if each word she spoke mattered. They ended the evening with a promise of a second date, and as Clara drifted to sleep that night, she felt a glimmer of hope blossoming in her heart. Encouraged by her friend's wisdom, Clara decided to take a weekend getaway, a breath of fresh air away from the memories that haunted her. She reserved a spot at a charming cottage by the lake and packed her art supplies, determined to reconnect with her passion. Arriving at the cottage, Clara felt the beauty of the landscape envelop her. The lake shimmered in the sunlight, and the verdant trees whispered the promises of renewal. She spent days painting, allowing her creativity to pour onto the canvas as she expressed her grief, her hopes, and her triumphs through brush strokes and colors. In those moments, she found solace. The colors told her story in a way words couldn't. With every stroke, she healed, reclaiming her sense of self that had been dimmed in her previous relationship. While painting one afternoon, Clara suddenly noticed an older man sitting on a bench nearby. He observed her with a gentle smile, his graying hair catching the light. After a moment, he approached her, intrigued by her art. "Excuse me, that's beautiful," he complimented. "You've captured the essence of the lake perfectly." "Thank you," Clara replied, surprised but pleased. "It helps me process things." "I get that," he said with a nod. "Art is cathartic." His name was Robert, a retired teacher who frequently visited the lake to find inspiration. They struck up a conversation that flowed easily, with Robert sharing stories of his own creative journey and Clara opening up about her recent experiences. Over the next few days, they met regularly, and Clara began to feel a renewed sense of hope. Robert's warm energy felt comforting, opening her up to the idea of friendship, perhaps even more, without the pressure of expectations. They bonded over shared interests and enjoyed leisurely walks around the lake, talking about everything from art to literature. Returning home after her weekend retreat, Clara felt lighter than she had in weeks. She carried renewed strength, a spark ignited within her. The heartache had taught her resilience and the importance of honesty in any relationship. Set back in her daily routine, Clara began focusing on herself and her passions. She attended local art classes, exploring new techniques, and meeting fellow artists who enriched her creative journey. Each brush stroke on the canvas became a step towards self-discovery, allowing her to redefine who she was beyond her past experiences. Months later, while volunteering at a community art program, Clara crossed paths with David, a kind and warm man with a passion for helping others. They shared an instant connection over their love for art and community, and their conversations flowed effortlessly. David was honest and open, sharing his own experiences without fear or pretense. Unlike her previous relationship, Clara felt safe and listened to with David. There was no need for masks. He celebrated vulnerability. As they spent more time together, Clara found herself falling into a genuine bond, built on trust and sincerity. One evening, as they walked through a local art festival, David turned to Clara, his eyes filled with admiration. "You have a beautiful spirit, Clara. I admire your strength." he said earnestly, his voice soft. In that moment, Clara felt understood. His words sank into her, a balm for her previously bruised heart. As the weeks turned into months, Clara learned to embrace love without fear, armed with the lessons of her past. Through her relationship with David, she realized that vulnerability made connections deeper, weaving together authenticity and trust. One sunny afternoon, seated in a cozy cafe, Clara felt David squeeze her hand. "I want to be here for you, always," he said, his eyes searching hers. Clara's heart swelled with warmth. "I want that too," she smiled, fully embracing the moment. The shadows of her past lingered behind her, but no longer weighed her down. Instead, they became a source of strength, teaching her the importance of authenticity in love. In the end, Clara stood tall, ready to face whatever came next. She had learned to love herself first, understanding that true love might bloom again, rooted in honesty and vulnerability. With David by her side, she felt empowered to navigate the journey ahead, knowing she deserved a love that was real, not merely a figment of someone else's facade.